Hello, and welcome to my Varrock locked Chunkman account. For those unaware of what exactly a Chunkman account is, let me give you the rundown. For those that want to skip to my specific rule set or who want to go straight to the episode, there are timestamps in the description below. Chunk locked accounts are Ironmen locked to specific parts of the map known as a chunk. Each chunk on the world map is made up of 64 by 64 tiles in a square. For me, I'll be stuck in the 4096 tiles that make up the Varrock Center. As I play, you'll be able to see where I'm locked to, as a grey barrier will act like a wall that I cannot pass. Now, this is only a Ruleset plugin, so I can physically step over the barrier, but that defeats the purpose of being chunk locked. While locked to a certain area, I need to utilize the shops, drops, item spawns, and resources in the area to complete a set of tasks. These tasks are different depending on the areas that I have unlocked, so for instance in the Varrock Square chunk, there are regular trees and oak trees. Since I can train woodcutting on the regular trees, I'll need to increase my woodcutting level to 15 and cut down an oak tree too, since I have access to it. This constitutes a chunk task, one of the many that I'll need to do in this area. Once I've completed every chunk task, I get given a new adjacent or reachable chunk, and then I have to do the tasks found there, and so on. There are many different rule sets that people have taken up for their series. These rule sets have different names depending on the severity and difficulty of the tasks required. I'll be making my own custom rule set for a few reasons. I've been putting out videos at least weekly for most of my YouTube career, minus the time when Leagues is active. And my general niche on YouTube is to make accounts that have restrictions that might turn people away but are generally achievable if you put enough time and work into it. For this reason, I have made a few changes that differ from regular chunk locked accounts. First and foremost, the chunk rolls. Normally, upon receiving a new chunk, you could be randomly given any of the possible available nearby chunks. I've made one change here, which is that the chunk picker site, which I'll link in the description, will roll me 2 chunks instead of 1, and I can pick my choice between them. This will hopefully keep videos coming out regularly, as I'll be able to pick chunks that better suit the place my account is in, stopping me from becoming chunk locked for months of a long grind, generally speaking. Another major change is that I'll be blocking off the wilderness. I've just completed a wilderness series, albeit a short one, and I find the wilderness content to be both heavily botted as well as, of course, dangerous with the PKers. I'd rather keep this series fun, light, and entertaining, and as such I won't be doing any content that requires other people, such as raids or barbarian assault, to complete. While arguably some raids are possible alone, I'm really not good enough, especially on a restricted account. I feel like this prevents me from being locked to content where I need to rely on others. I will be counting Castle Wars however, since that can be done passively with a second account or on mass worlds. For a few skills there are exceptions that I'll be employing. Construction will be limited to chunk tasks outside of the house itself, such as sash units, mahogany homes, house location changes, things like that. Farming will only require me to make use of an unlocked patch at the lowest level. For instance, a herb patch would only require me to plant guam, not a higher level herb seed. Herb lore will give me no real requirements other than quest levels once I've unlocked herb lore itself. And then finally, I won't be going after pets, skilling or otherwise. If I manage to get one, that's great. Otherwise, oh well. For the final few changes, I will need to kill every unique monster in a chunk that I unlock at least once. If I unlock a chunk with a repeat monster, this will not need to be done again. I will be killing bosses, however I will be waiting for prayer potions to be unlocked before I do that, probably. I will be doing quests up to the steps that I can physically do with my unlocked chunks instead of waiting for the whole quest to be completable. However, I will be holding out on diary tasks until I can complete the full diary tier. This doesn't mean that I can't do diary tasks early, just that I don't have to as a chunk task. There are probably several more things that I haven't mentioned, but we'll mostly mention them as they come up. If I seem to miss a task that you'd expect, leave a comment about it and I'll get back to you. I'll let you know why I didn't do that due to my rule set, or if I should have done it but I didn't, then I can fix it. Let's get into it. Now, first things first, starting the adventure today. As you can see in my inventory, I do have all the things from Tutorial Island. I've chosen not to get the Ironman armor. I feel like since that's not something from in my chunk, I shouldn't have access to it. But let's get right onto the chunk map. So as you can see here, we have the chunk map. This is the area that I've got, Varrock Square, and the chunks 1, 2, 3, and 4 are ones that I could get as a second chunk once I've completed all of my tasks. I do have a number of different tasks that I have to do, as you can see on the right-hand side. So one of them is to get my attack level to 30 to wield an adamant weapon. That's because there are adamant weapons in the sword shop that I have access to, and because I have access to them, I need to be able to use them. Same with mithril armor. That can be found, mithril plate body, in Horvik's shop. I already mentioned the fire making, fletching, and wood cutting oak logs because there are oak trees. I will need to get all 3 of those skills up to level 15 to be able to make use of them. Now for fletching, using oak logs is only turning into shafts. There's a rule that I'm using, as most people use, that resources only need to be used to the lowest level. So in the case of oak logs, fletching them into shafts at level 15 instead of having to fletch it into a short bow or a long bow at level 20 or 25. When I have access to mining and smithing, I will need to make bronze bar into a dagger at level 1. I'll need to make an iron bar into an iron dagger at level 15 and so on. I don't need to get to the highest possible level and smith every possible thing that I can with a bronze bar or an iron bar, for example. For thieving, the only thing I can thieve in this chunk are citizens at level 1, so I'll just have to do that once. Guards can sometimes walk into my chunk, but because they're not actually local to this chunk, I won't have to get my pickpocketing up to level 40, though I probably will be doing a lot of pickpocketing because each of the 4 chunks around me have guards in it, and that will be a chunk task regardless of which one I get next. So getting my pickpocketing up some way toward that next level 40 goal would be a good start. The maple shortbow, I can buy that in the ranged shop and will need to be able to use it. And for magic at the level 41, casting wind blasts, I can get the runes from Aubrey in the rune shop, and I'll need to make use of the highest level ones there, which would be the level 41 for wind blast. So that's going to be quite a big and expensive trip. Next up, quest tasks. I can start a few steps of Children of the Sun, Demon Slayer, and Romeo and Juliet, so I'll have to do those. I can't complete any of those just yet, but because they can be started, I'll need to start those. As I get more chunks, I'll need to do more with those. And finally, there are my other tasks. In this case, there are kill tasks. As I said in the intro, every single new monster that I encounter, I'll need to kill at least once. In this case, there are men, women, spiders, rats, and the low-level barbarian in the Blue Moon Inn. One other one is Johnny the Beard, but I don't think I can actually kill him without starting the Shield of Arav quest and taking a particular side, but I'll try that if I can. So we'll quickly go through a few of the things that I have access to. As I said, I do have access to Aubrey's Rune Shop, the Blue Moon Inn, Horvik's Armor Shop, Lowe's Archery Emporium. There's also Thessalia's Fine Clothes, the Varrock General Store, the Varrock Sword Shop, and Zaf's Superior Staffs. So I will have access to a good number of different things there. I also have access to the museum, at least part of it. So I will be able to do that museum quiz. I do have access to a bank, which is really nice. There are a few things that I can find on the ground, so I will be picking up some of those as I go. I have access to some anvils and some ranges. I can't really use the anvil yet because I don't have any bars, but that's an option. Obviously some trees and stuff as well. If I go over here to item spawns, you can see there's a candle, knife, leather body, logs, pot, and a spade. I will be taking that leather body pretty quickly as a bit of an upgrade for a chest slot. I do have access to a few beginner clues, easy, medium, and hard. One of the beginner clues does require a gold ring and a gold necklace, which I don't have yet, but I can get from random events. The other one is Charlie the Tramp, I think, who is just in my chunk. So if I get beginner clues, I'll try to do them, but I think that a lot of Charlie steps I won't be able to do. Making my way here to the bank, I can get rid of most of my things there, so I'll just take what I need for now. I'll take the bronze sword, the wooden shield. Do I think I need anything else? Probably not. I can get that leather body that I mentioned, so that's going to be a slight upgrade to my body slot. And let's have a look around and see what I can do. So first off, I thought I'd just check, but I was pretty sure Johnny the Beard can't be attacked unless you've started the Shield of Arav quest and picked a certain side. So I will be able to mark him off of the task list without needing to do that. Now, Charlie the Tramp is currently not in my chunk, but I am allowed to access things as long as I don't go outside of my chunk. So like this, I could talk to him. As you can see here, he's not in my chunk, but I am not leaving my chunk to do this. He does also wander in sometimes, so as long as I don't move outside of my chunk, he is considered accessible. Okay, now because my attack is only level 1, I can actually use iron equipment as well. I've just checked the cost of an iron sword and an iron dagger. 91 coins for the iron sword, 35 coins for the iron dagger, more than the 25 that I have right now, but that's a little goal I can work towards. Obviously, we have the general store. There's a few things in there that might come in handy eventually, but right now I don't need any of them, just having a look at what I've got. And Thessalia's store here does have a few extra things. So there is the leather body I've already got. They do have the gloves and boots that'll be a slight upgrade. The priest gown and the top for the priest gown as well will be a bit of an upgrade for prayer bonuses. And the red cape is also a slight upgrade, so I might buy all those while I have the chance. I will eventually have a level 41 goal for magic, as we've stated, so getting a staff at some point will be pretty good. A regular one is only 15 coins, but a staff of air will be the best one. It is a pretty hefty 1.5k, but we'll get there eventually, and we'll grab that down the line. Borvik as well does sell a good supply of different chain bodies, plate bodies, even the iron plate legs, plus some ranged gear. That's all a little ways out of my price range right now, but I'll keep that in mind for future. Plus, of course, Low has a great range supply, so crossbows, longbows, short bows, lots of arrows and bolts. We'll have to come back to that when we have more money. One thing I don't think that many people know is that you can attack this dummy for attack experience. I'm not sure how far this goes. I think it might be level 5, but we'll see how we go. I'll be getting my first level up in just a second. And there we go. Level 2 attack. This is a lot quicker experience than I get fighting anything in my chunks, so it's actually really worth it. And we'll be coming up on level 3 in a second. There we go, level 3 attack. We'll keep going to level 5 if we can. I think that's the barrier. Okay, in just a second, there is level 5 attack. That does give me access to steel weaponry now that I can wield, but I can't afford any of that just yet. Can I still get attack experience? I can. I'm not sure then how far this goes. Out of curiosity, I changed to a aggressive style where I would be getting strength experience, and it's still giving me attack experience. So just to make sure, if you thought that I might be able to get defense or strength on here, I can't. Okay, so I managed to raise attack to level 8, as you can see here, but I no longer get any experience from the dummies. So that was a pretty good increase from level 1 to level 8. I'll take it. It's going to make hitting things a little bit more accurate now. Next up, I'll be doing the museum quiz here with Orlando Smith. That'll get my Hunter and my Slayer up to level 9 apiece, which will be a pretty quick and nice way of doing that. I am going to skip through this really quickly for you though. Alright, there we go. Too easy. 1000 experience in both of those, and that gives me level 9 Slayer and level 9 Hunter. I can't do much with either of those right now, but it's good to have that confirmed. Next up, I may as well complete one of my chunk tasks, pickpocketing a man. That's done. That's all I had to do for that, so I can mark that off. And there we go, pickpocket a citizen, complete. As I said earlier, every single one of the surrounding chunks that I could get next time have a goal of 40 thieving as a chunk task. I'm going to have to get that up a little bit more as we go. Plus, this will be one of my better sources of money making, unfortunately, in this chunk. So with all the things that I have to buy, this is going to be eventually quite useful. I'll get a start on some killing tasks. There's one spider down. I do also have to kill one man. We'll see if I can manage it without dying. With my attack level, that should be a little bit easier. And here we go, one man down. As a chunk man, it's pretty helpful to just take everything you can, so I will be picking up every drop that I get over the course of the series. You never know when things are going to come in handy. I'm going to start working on getting my strength levels up so I can hit a bit higher. And of course I do have to kill a woman as well as a man. There is also the barbarian who can be found here, but they're a bit higher level and I don't think I can take them out just yet, at least not safely, so I will hold off until I'm a bit higher level for that. But I'll just pick these things up as I go again. Giving the stray dog a bone is a achievement task, which I am going to do, even though I don't have to just yet. May as well get it done. I just took the lit candle spawn that is up here inside of the sword shop. I don't know if it's going to be handy at any point, but again, you take everything you can get here. While it's not native to my chunk, I am going to try to kill this imp. I'm allowed to kill anything that's inside my chunks as long as they wander in, though it's not required unless it spawns here. But so long as it's here, I may as well try to kill it. You never know what you're going to get from an imp, really, and it seems to want to stay in my chunks. Let's hope I can finish it off before it leaves my chunks. Okay, what do we get? A Mind Talisman. Okay, no complaints from me. Except for the Barbarian, the final thing I have to kill is this rat here in Yarlow's house. Alright, that's done. There are also 2 log spawns here, as you can see, which might help a little bit in the future with woodcutting and fletching. This mugger must not be native to the chunk, but I may as well try to kill him anyway. And strength level 2. Hopefully I can kill it before it kills me. There we go. Mugger down and a few coins. No complaints. So looking again at my chunk tasks, as you can see I've done most of my killing now except for the Barbarian. I will eventually get to them. I still need to do most of my skill tasks. I have pickpocketed a citizen, but that was a very easy task. I'm going to go after some woodcutting levels and with that fire making and fletching as well. Now when it comes to fletching, you don't actually start with a knife and you can't buy one in the general store, but there is a knife spawn over here on the first floor of the general store. So I'm going to grab that as well as the spade spawn so that I have a spade now. So from here I'll be wood cutting the regular trees and fletching arrow shafts from the logs as I go. I will update you when I get some milestone levels. There are the set of trees that I just cut and these 3 over here, which should basically be good enough. Once those ones are all cut down, the other ones should be respawned just about. You know what? Never mind. There are 6 of them here in the courtyard for the Varrock Castle. So I'll be cutting these down instead. I can't reach these other 2 here that are in the grey, so I'll just be working on these 6. Any second here, we should be getting level 5 wood cutting. There we go. Level 5. While I only need level 15 wood cutting to get to oak trees, no doubt I will be going a lot further than that. As anyone who's done a wood cutting, fletching and fire making combo grind would know, you need twice as many logs for the other 2 activities, plus fletching is a lot slower experience. So it's actually going to be probably in somewhere in the level 20s by the time I finish the grind, maybe even 30s. Alright, so I've managed to get my woodcutting level up to level 7 with this first inventory of logs. As you'll soon see, I will not get anywhere near that with my fletching level. And only 5 experience apiece making shafts, which is all I can make right now. I won't probably get past level 2. I also can't really do anything with these arrow shafts right now. I don't have access to feathers, and I can't smith arrow tips. So they're just going to be held in the bank. Eventually, some ways down the line, they'll come in handy, no doubt, as they'll help my fletching level once I have access to the other materials I need. And here comes level 10 woodcutting, right there. And I don't really get anything from that I can do right now, but I am still only level 2 fletching, so that gives you an idea of the disparity in experience between woodcutting and fletching. And the first milestone level for fletching, level 5. Now I'll be able to make short bows, which unfortunately are the same experience per log with only 5 experience as the arrow shafts. They can be sold to the general store for a tiny amount of money, but at this point I can't refuse any amount of money, so I may as well do that instead of arrow shafts for the meantime. It's not until longbows that I can make at level 10 that the experience goes up also to 10 experience, doubling from what I'm getting at the moment, and the amount I can get from the general store is a little bit more, but again, not very much. But still, I'll just be making short bows and then long bows until I get 15 fletching. And that is level 15 woodcutting. I can now cut down oak trees. I am going to quickly go cut 1 so I can mark that off of my chunk tasks. There we go, 1 oak log. And while I can't use that for anything yet, that is a chunk task complete. So now I can mark this off here, 15 woodcutting, chop oak logs, done. Alright, so I've put the arrow shafts away. I've got my money out, so I'll be getting a stack of that hopefully. I say a stack, it'll only be a small stack. Once I've finished making all of these short bows, I'll sell them to the general store. I'm not going to bother hopping worlds, it's really not worth it. There's really no money to be made. We'll see how much I get by the end of it. Okay, so they sell for 9 coins each, and Seems that they'll be going down one at a time, more or less. If I sell 10, let's sell the rest down to 2 coins each. Okay, well, as I say, it's still something. It's better than nothing. 121 coins. I won't turn my nose up at that. I know I said I won't be hopping worlds, but I mean between individual short bow sales, I will be hopping between every inventory worth at least to get a little bit more money. I'm going to need, as I said, all the money I can get, so it's worth that at least. Here we go, that's level 20 woodcutting. Unfortunately, I'm still only level 7 fletching, so still a long way to go. At least woodcutting levels will help me in the future when I get willows or yews or magic trees. I just got my first clue nest, a beginner clue. Let's see if it's one that I can do. It is not, so I will be dropping that. I'll keep the bird nest though. Very next tree I got another one. Let's see this time. Grand exchange. Okay, can't do that yet, and I'm not really looking to hold on to them. So, drop that as well. Do I get another one? No, okay. And here we come in for level 10 fletching, which means I can now make longbows, which I will start to do. It is double the experience. That's going to speed up my fletching a little bit and might get me a little bit more money too. Let's see what they're worth. Okay, so the longbow unstrung is worth 24 coins instead of the 9 that the short bow is. Of course, it will also go down as I sell more of them, but that's pretty good. So I'll start to make a bit more money as I keep fletching those, and hopefully my fletching level will hit 15 relatively soon. I'm going to deposit these bird nests before I continue though. There's another imp here in my chunk, so I'm going to kill that, see if I get anything good. I won't show every imp kill that I'm doing, but you know, you never know what you get out of an imp, as I said, so. Yellow bead, well, that's one of the 4 beads I'm going to need way down the line when I can complete the imp catcher quest. But yeah, not really good for anything for now. I'll hold on to it though. I mostly won't be showing my bank during this series, but generally speaking, I do have different tabs for different things. I have a melee, ranged, and magic tab for all things melee, ranged, and magic. Food tab, a production tab for woodcutting and mining and that stuff like that. A fishing and hunter tab, a herb tab, and a general other crap tab, which is where I've put the yellow bead for the meantime. Things that go in there might be things that are useful in clues or quests or whatever. Just things that don't really fit into the other tab. The general tab as well obviously just has a lot of tools and stuff, but they don't really fit into other things particularly. It's not very important, just I have my own system. And as I say, I won't be really showing it off as we go, just you might see it here and there. It won't be anything spectacular. It doesn't look great now and it won't look great in the future. So just get used to that. Another imp kill coming in. What do I get? Well, I get a strength level and a tinderbox. I've already got a tinderbox, don't need that. I'll take the prayer experience though. With those last longbows sold, that is over 1k total now. Not bad, not bad. Level 25 woodcutting all of a sudden. Still don't have the 15 fletching just yet, but I'm getting pretty close. And with that log done, level 15 fletching. I can now make iron arrows, but more importantly, I can use an oak log to turn it into arrow shafts. Let me quickly sell these. Now, for a chunk man, it's not good enough that I have the level, I have to actually do the action that that level requires. So first of all, I'll get this oak log, and then I do need to turn it into arrow shafts. Done. That means that I can tick off my level 15 fletching requirement there. Next up, I'll do the fire making. Of course, if I'm going to train fire making, it just means I'm back here cutting logs and then I have to burn them. I wonder what my wood cutting level will get up to by the time I'm done. One of the great features about fire making in Varrock is that there are a lot of long patches and stretches where I can just fire make freely. There's level 2. Now, because each log gives me 40 fire making experience, this is going to go up a lot quicker than fletching. About 8 times faster, actually. There's level 5 fire making. I've only done a few logs so far. I wonder what level I'll have by the end of the inventory. The answer to that question is level 9, nearly level 10. Level 10 fire making. Here's my first random event. And I get a triangle sandwich. Okay. It's not much, but it's food and I don't really have access to much food right now, so I'll happily take it. It's technically my second random event. I did get one during the intro when I was filming that, but I didn't do it because, well, I hadn't officially started yet. So, well, I got to level 14 fire making on that. I only need 6 more logs. So I'll get those and then finish off my fire making task. And this will be the last one. Level 15 fire making. Now I can burn oak logs, which I will have to do. Again, it's still a chunk task to complete that. So here we go, oak logs. Any second now. Done. So I have now completed this fire making task, and I can manually complete these tasks. And these should remove them. There we go, clean those up a little bit. So I still need 30 attack, I still need 20 defense, 41 magic, 30 ranged, and I need to start some quests. And finally, I need to kill that lower level barbarian. I'll quickly do these quest steps, and then we'll try one of the others. For the Demon Slayer quest, about all I can do is talk to Eris here in the tent and get this quest started. But after that, I can't really do anything. I'd need to talk to Surprisen, and they're not in my chunk, so can't do that. Next, I need to start the Romeo and Juliet quest, which Romeo's actually come up to me and started for me, so I just have to talk to him for a moment. Once he's finished talking about Juliet, start the quest. There's not much more I can do at the moment. My quest helpers come up to try to help, but I can't get to Juliet because she is beyond the chunk, so that'll be it for there. And then finally I can do a little bit of Children of the Sun, this quest here. It starts in this chunk, but I'll need more than this to continue. I can only do a little bit. I don't know if I can follow her, if I'll go out of the chunk, but I'll see. Let's just see where I end up here. So far it's looking alright. Just watch this delegation come in, and then once this cutscene's over, we should be good to go. It looks like I can complete this part of the quest without going out of my chunk, so I'll just do this. Just gotta wait for this guy to turn back around and keep going. Essentially, I can't be spotted. I should turn run off. Probably don't even need it. I can run if I need to. Get to here. I think after this step, I can't really do anything more though. Quiet, stray dog. I'm trying to hide here. Okay, and since I haven't been spotted, this should be pretty much it. We watch him go in here, and that's the end of that. I can speak with the sergeant here as well, but I think that that's going to be pretty much it. We'll just see how far I can take this quest. Talk to this man as well, or mark this man. Alright, I've been kidnapped and taken to a chunk outside of my area beyond my will. It's forcing me to do more of the quest. I didn't agree to this. I'll see if I can quickly get out. Okay, a quest is complete. I want to get the hell out of here as quick as possible. I will return to my allowable chunks, but that is a quest complete, I suppose. Oops. I will, of course, be restarting my account from scratch and getting back exactly where I was. Say hello to Chunk Varrock number 2. Alright, so with that quest complete, I can now access Varlamore. I won't be going there. Well, I can't get there yet, but if I do get this chunk to the east here unlocked, then I can roll Varlamore after that. It will be an accessible one because of the Quetzal here that can take me to Varlamore. So now I need to get my attack to level 30 and my defense to level 20 to use the adamant sword from the sword shop and the mithril plate body from Horvix here. I do have some money now, so I will be putting some of that towards upgrades, but I have to be pretty conservative with my money. I'm eventually going to want to get a Staff of Air for 1500, and I'll need to be buying a lot of mine runes so that I can get my magic up to level 41 eventually. I'll need to do that before I can even leave the chunk. I can always continue my money-making efforts in the same way that I have been so far with some fletching, and I could also do some more pickpocketing. But now I'm going to just sell this bronze sword, only a little bit of money, and I am going to buy myself a bit of an upgrade. So I've purchased a steel sword. As you can see, my money's gone down a little bit. I am going to come here to Thessalia, get that quick leather gloves and boots upgrade and a cape. It's going to do just a little bit for me. Defense-wise, looking like a champion now. I'm going to kill men until I can get my max hit up to a 3, and then I'll train my attack and my defense to the levels that are needed. Hopefully I won't die during this process. I'll get some hit points levels as well. As I said earlier, I don't have access to much food, though I do have one method that I'll show you later. Sadly, the cabbages just down there to the top right are not inside of my chunks, but they're pretty close. But that would have been food if I had access to it. In other news, strength level 5. Let's keep getting that up a bit. Now, the men do drop grimy herbs sometimes, so I will be collecting those up as I get them. Obviously, I can't use them till I get to Tavali and get Druidic Ritual, but in the meantime, that's something I'll just be holding on to. Alright, so my health's getting pretty low now, so here's my one chance for food. This guy, if you could talk to him, he can sell you cabbages. You do have to go through a little bit of a conversation, but he'll sell you a cabbage one at a time for 1 gold each. So that's basically my only method for getting food, outside of what I started with and random events, as we saw earlier. Since cabbages only heal 1 at a time, this is not the most fun, but that's sort of what happens when you play a chunk man account. You have to make do with what you can. I am burying these bones as I get them, and there's level 2 prayer. I'm not going to show you every prayer level, don't worry. I had a small change of plans. I decided to get my attack up to level 10, which it almost is. There we go. And now I can use black swords, which will be a bit of an upgrade for me in the long run. I probably shouldn't have purchased this sword until I got level 10, but oh well. So I got a beginner clue for the apothecary, who is just outside of my chunks, as you can see, just here. But oh well, I'll drop that. One of the men just dropped me a bronze med helm, my first head slot upgrade. And a hit points level, level 12. Level 10 strength. 1 more level and I can hit a 3 on aggressive, but I'll need another 3 levels after that to be able to hit a 3 while on accurate or defensive. It's quite tedious buying cabbages 1 at a time, so my hit points really matter. I might just bite the bullet and buy myself these iron plate legs. How much do they go for? Oh, I just accidentally bought one instead of checking the value. I'm going to try taking out the barbarian now, finish off my last combat task. Since I can hit a 3 now, this might not take too long actually. Nearly there. 1 more hit. There we go. What do I get? Tin ore. Well, okay. I do have a few copper already from the men, so I guess that helps. Can't smelt it yet. Don't have a furnace. However, that is officially my final kill task complete, and I can manually complete those. Only a few things left to go. These barbarians do have a bit of a drop table. There's a few things I can get, like the iron mace or a staff. There's coin drops, there's rune drops, there's cooked meat even, a ring mold. Possible beginner clues. I don't know, we'll see what I can get. One of the better drops that I've been getting from the men and the barbarians are the mind runes. I will need a lot of them to get to level 41 magic, and I will basically just be using mind runes all the way up. I don't think I'm going to go for many chaos runes, so it's going to be a pretty long journey. And that is level 14 strength. Now I can change to attack, and I still have the max hit of 3. With this set of bones, level 5 prayer. In the same vein of taking less damage, I've been getting my defense up. I just got it to level 10. I'll keep going for 20 and then I'll return to attack. This is my first easy clue scroll. I can't do it, but, you know, thought I'd check. As you can see, I've moved to a new spot. There are 2 men that spawn in this house, and there's the other one. And they are a little bit closer to each other. There's also not a door in the way that occasionally closes on me, so it's less hassle there. As you can see in the bottom left, I have been wielding the bolts that I get, and I'm up to nearly 100. They'll come in handy when I do start my range training. Plus, they drop arrows too. That's level 15 defense there. Doesn't get me anything, but it's a multiple of 5. Just got a drop of 2 chaos runes. As I said, I won't really be buying those, so for my magic training, I won't be getting a lot of them, but any that I do get, I'll be making use of course. That is level 20 defense. Now, that is one of my chunk goals, but that's not quite enough to complete the task. I will need to actually wear mithril armor, and I have 2 choices for that, basically. From Horvik's shop, there's the mithril chain body, which is 1,950 coins, or the mithril plate body at 5,200 coins, neither of which I have the money to afford right now. So while I have the defense level, I can't actually complete the task until I'm wearing one of the pieces of mithril armor. I will now change my attack options back raising my attack experience, and I will need level 30 in that. Level 10 prayer. Alright, that's a prison Pete random complete. Let's see what I get out of this. Hopefully something good. A lamp. Okay. I'll have to think about what I'm going to put that into. Alright, I got a beginner clue that I might be able to do. It's for Charlie the Tramp. I just have to wait for him to get into the area where I can actually talk to him. See if it's one that I actually can do, or if it's asking for something I don't have. Wait and see. Alright, he wants a raw herring. That's not going to work. Can't get access to that, so any second now. This should be level 15 attack. Yep, there we go. Still need another 15 levels for the goal. I've also decided I'm going to put the lamp right into hit points because I don't really need to lamp anything else up, and hit points take a little longer than other things, so going with that. And that's level 19. That is level 20 hit points now, still getting those attack levels up. There we are with level 20 attack. Can now wield mithril weaponry, but we still have 10 levels to go. I just came back from a maze random that I forgot to record. I did get an attack potion, I did get some mithril ore, I did get some air runes, some bolts, and some money, so that'll help me along a little bit. And level 25 attack, 5 levels to go. I am going to sell the 2 mithril ore that I received. It doesn't get me too much extra money, but, well, it's not going to be much good to me for a long time. And by the time I need mithril ore for anything, I'll just be able to get it probably. So, not an issue. Level 15, prayer. Getting up pretty quick. Okay, at this stage I've killed a lot of men, and I'm going to start killing this barbarian a little bit. Try to get some different drops, see what I might be able to get. Between respawns, I can also kill the woman here in the pub as well, just so I don't have any downtime. Now, here is an exception that I'm allowing myself. This Pillory Guard random event does take you to Yanil technically. However, I'm allowing myself this one because it's just a random event. I'm not really doing anything in Yanil so much as just completing the random event. So I'm allowing it, especially at this stage of the game. And for that random event, I got 160 coins. And any second now, I will be getting my attack level to 30. And now I can use the adamant equipment. I don't have any on me, but I do have enough money to buy an adamant sword. So I'll grab that in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to sell this black sword and then grab the adamant sword. That's going to take away a fair bit of my cash stack, but that is going to be an improvement. And now I can mark another task off of my list. So here we are, as I said, wield an adamant weapon. That's now done. Manually complete that. And I still need to get that mithril armor for 20 defense. I'm going to need a lot more money before I can afford the mithril plate body. And I don't want to go for the mithril chain. I do want the plate body, and that'll be a nice thing to get. I need a lot more money before I can do the magic plan. And I might start range soon, but I want to get my strength up a little bit. As you can see here, my strength's still only level 14, so I will be going back to strength training. Probably get a few more max hits. Do a little bit more with that before I move on to range or magic. And that is level 15 strength. With this adamant sword, I can now hit a 4. It's going to be another 7 strength levels till I can hit a 5 though. And right after that last clip, I got a staff from the barbarian. So that's something for magic, I guess. It's not that expensive to get from the staff shop, and I will want an air staff, but I guess it's something. More levels, level 25 hit points now. Getting pretty high, relatively speaking. That is level 22 strength. I can now hit a 5, and in 7 more levels, I can hit a 6. I'll probably stop here for now, though, after this kill. While I have the money, I am going to buy the Staff of Air. I now have an entire 45 gold to my name. I did sell the regular staff that I had to Zaf, and this is going to then help me with my mage plan. I'm also going to buy the priest gowns here, costing another 10 gold overall, but that will add some prayer. It's not really any better for mage, but makes me feel better. I currently have 101 mine runes stacked up, and with my Staff of Air, I can now basically have infinite air runes. I do have a few of the other elemental runes, as you can see in my inventory. I'm going to use those up, see what sort of magic level I can get before I need to start buying more runes from Aubrey. I'm just going to go back to attacking these men here, get them back into the house, someone led them out, and I'll get back to you when I have more magic levels. There's level 2. And with this cast, magic level 5. As you can see, my mind runes are going down quite quickly, they don't last very long. But I can now cast Water Strike, which will give me a little bit more experience. And with this final cast, I am officially out of mind runes. So that was a pretty short-lived magic journey. I am only magic level 8. So now I am basically out of money. I have 64 coins to my name. What should I do? Well, I sort of brought it up earlier. I am going to need level 40 thieving, regardless of which chunk I get next. So I might as well do some thieving. At the rate I'm going though, it looks like I am unlikely to get any money before I actually die. There we go. I will of course have to put money back into the cabbage fund to heal myself for every unsuccessful pickpocket. And it's not going to be very much money or very quick money. It's not the quickest way. I will go back to fletching when I need more money, really. I will need to buy quite a bit more gear. There's level 2 thieving. But I may as well get some levels while I'm at it, right? Hey, I got a pot of flour from an imp kill. I'll get some a jug of water together and get some bread. Alright, bread dough, watch me burn this bread. Ah, successful. Cooking level, and that's 5 hit points out of that. Saves me a few cabbages. Level 5 thieving. I can now steal from the tea stall that's not too far away, but it's not in my chunk, so gonna have to wait for that. Honestly, the tea stall chunk would probably be ideal. Tea would give me a source of food, and I need to get guards anyway, so the experience from thieving tea stalls would be better than pickpocketing men. Maybe we'll get that, we'll find out. So long as the man is still stuck here in the bar, I might as well pickpocket him. He's right next to the cook, my source of food, the cabbages. So when he knocks me down, I can at least get some more health back up. And this will be level 10 thieving. I can now pickpocket from farmers that I don't have access to. But you can see I'm starting to develop a little bit of a cash quote-unquote stack. It's not much, but it's something. I still fail a lot of these pickpockets, unfortunately. Just buying the cabbage takes a while, and then you got to eat it. One heel at a time. And it looks like I've been drafted. Alright guys, see you soon. What do I get from that? The camo top. Okay, guess I'm wearing that for a little bit. Maybe it'll help with my pickpocketing if they can't see me. Apparently not. And that is level 15 thieving now. Ham followers for that. Cowbells from dairy cows. Yeah, neither of that's going to be useful anytime soon. And here is level 20 thieving. Again, nothing that's really relevant to me. And here we're coming in with level 25 thieving. This really isn't very quick. And as you can see, I am making a bit of money, but not that much. I've done nearly 1,000 pickpockets. In 20 more pickpockets, I'll have done 1,000. So I'll do that and then I'll go for something else. Bit of fletching. And with this pickpocket, 8,000 experience, 1,000 total pickpockets. Unfortunately, this is only around 21.5% of the way to level 40. So when we need to pickpocket a guard, we're going to have a long way to go. So now what I'll be doing for money is going back to some fletching. Once I get my fletching level to level 20, I can actually use the oak logs for something other than the arrow shafts. The oak short bows, and then eventually the oak long bows. They'll sell for more, but in the meantime, to get some experience up and some money up, I'll be using the regular logs, making regular long bows. Big level 30 wood cutting there. Can now chop willow trees, not that I will be doing that anytime soon. That is level 20 fletching. Now, as I said, I can do oak short bows, which might be a little bit better money. Though I'm doing alright with money at the moment. Wood cutting level 35, and with one more after this, that is level 25 fletching. Now I can make oak longbows. Again, that'll be a bit of an increase in the price that I can sell them for. Okay, for reference, the short bows were starting at 20 coins each for selling them, and the longbows are 32 coins each. So that's going to be a pretty decent upgrade for me. Once we get around 10k, I'll buy some runes. I got myself the fletching level to make the oak shield, so I've now made myself one of those. They do sell for the same price as the oak longbow, so it's not worth making those to sell, but it's now my best in slot shield. With this final log in my inventory, that is level 30 fletching. I can't do anything that it offers me though, unfortunately. Sadly, because I'm relegated to a bronze axe for now, even at this level of woodcutting, which is currently 38, it still takes a while to cut any logs from the tree. So I've managed to get myself over 10.5k. Each of these mine rune packs is 330 coins. I think I'll buy 10, see if I can get through most of my levels on the way. I will need a death rune later, so I'll just buy that now. May as well. I'm definitely going to need more mine runes, but we'll get a start on it, see how we go. Once again, as I said earlier, I will just be using my staff to supply the air runes for Wind Strike. Once I can use Earth and Fire Strike, I'll use up those runes as well. They'll provide a little bit more experience per cast. It's not much, but I'm not using them for anything else. And there's level 9. And with this hit, level 13 magic. I can now use my fire runes. I do only have 69 fire runes though, so I'm only going to get 23 casts of Fire Strike. And with this cast, level 15 magic. Still a long way to go. And I've officially run out of all of my fire and earth runes. And prayer level 18. That's level 25 magic. Still 16 levels to go. But I can now teleport to Varrock, which is within my chunks. But I don't have any lore runes. As you can see, there's been a good number of clues obtained as well, but none that I can do yet. I'll only show you one if I can actually do it. Level 20 prayer. Just had a drunken dwarf random event, so that's a free beer and kebab for me. As you can see, I'm getting pretty high with the number of bolts that have been dropped from men as well. Bottom left corner, 939 so far. Starting to get low on the runes. I'm not even level 30 yet, so let's buy another 10 packs. See where that gets me. And that is level 30 magic. Still a massive 11 levels to go. And I'm back under 1,000 of my mind runes. Just got level 30 hit points. Another level in the 30s for me. Now, one thing that did just happen was I got level 31 magic, which allows me to teleport to Lumbridge. Now, even though I can get to Lumbridge via that teleport, that won't allow me to unlock that as a next potential chunk. Teleports like that simply aren't a method that I can use. I can use other things like canoe stations or hot air balloons, charter ships, or the Quetzal to Valamor, but I cannot use the spells to teleport. Just so everyone's clear on that. Getting close now, level 35 magic. I'm definitely going to need more runes again before I get to level 41. There's a pinball random done. What do I get out of that one? Sapphires. Okay. Might come in useful one day. For anyone who was watching my Wilderness Locked series as well, you know that I only just did this grind to level 41 magic, so doing it again is a little bit repetitive, but here we are. Getting close. Level 25 prayer now. Another maze random for me. We'll find out what stuff I can get out of it this time. There is an exploit with the maze where you can stay at the chest as long as you have the dialogue box open, the timer doesn't go down. And you can get the rewards from the chest more than once, but I won't be doing that. Let's see what we get. Okay, bunch of things. We got some nature runes, some more earth runes, a couple more bolts. I have more than 2,000 of those now. Some steel arrows, that's new, and a bunch of feathers. We haven't had feathers before, so that's also pretty new. Okay, we've had an attack potion before. That's a full 4-dose attack potion now. That is level 40 magic, only one level to go. Here we go, level 35 hit points, and we are so close to the level 41 magic as well. It'll be any second now, really. There we go, level 41 magic. Now we can cast Wind Blast, which we're going to do just the once, as we have to for the task. There we go, done. And that's another task that I can check off. Cast Wind Blast. Now I still don't have the money to buy the Mithril Armor just yet, because I did spend a lot of it on runes. And I've only got one other task, which is to wield a maple shortbow, which means 30 ranged. Before we get too far into ranged training, just to show you my herb tab right now. As you can see, lots of herbs gathered from the men there. I've killed, let's have a look, nearly 2,000 men. I still haven't got a clue that I can do yet. I've only had the one Charlie step, and I couldn't do that. I have been collecting up iron daggers that they drop, on the off chance that I might need to use one for a Charlie step, but again, still nothing yet. I have several thousand bolts right now, so I'm going to get the crossbow. I will eventually need this maple short bow, so I may as well get that now. And let's get to some range training. See how long these bolts last me. I am going to be nerd logged before too long, but we'll see how many range levels I can get first. Range level 5. We'll skip straight to 10. Level 10 ranged. Let's go to 15. Here we are, level 15 ranged. As of last level, I can hit a 3. With all this magic and ranged training, I'm nearly ready to be logged out. Only about a minute or two left. Quick little Prison Pete random. Let's get the hell out of here. Lamp. What to put it in? Fuck it, we'll put it in hit points again. Coming in now, level 20 ranged. And that also has a little bit more of an upgrade that I can go and fetch. It seems like I'll have more than enough bolts to get me through to level 30 at this rate. But from Horvik here, I can also purchase, when he stops fucking moving, the studded chaps and the studded body for a little bit of cost. And that's going to be an upgrade to my current range gear, looking alright there now actually. Just with the studded body and the studded chaps, that's a plus 12 to my ranged attack bonus, which is pretty good. Just hit range level 25, 5 levels to go. And finally coming in just a second, level 30 ranged, which means that I can now wield this maple short bow, which is one of my final tasks. Easy. Of course, I'll now mark 30 ranged and wield a maple short bow off of my active chunks, which means I only have one thing left to do, which is wear mithril armor. The only problem is that the magic training really stole my money, so I'm going to need to get some more. I'm going to need 5.2k to buy that mithril plate body, which means naturally I am back to fletching. With the next log that comes in, we're going to get level 40 woodcutting. And there it is. Massive way toward level 60, which would probably be our next goal if we land on a yew trees chunk. We'll talk about that later. Just hit level 41 in woodcutting, which means I can use a rune axe. I am currently still stuck to a bronze axe though, so that's pretty sad. And by selling off these oak longbows, I now have just enough money to go and buy that mithril plate body. So let's grab that real quick. Mithril plate body purchased and worn. That is my final task complete. This is it. This is peak gear. And as I say, I can now check off this task. That's my final task. Let's manually complete those. And I have a chunk roll to do. Now, I'm fairly sure that the chunk picker will roll 2 and there'll be 2 different ones. I believe it's always going to be 2 different ones as long as there are at least 2 to get. I guess we'll find out. I think if it only gives me the one, I have to take that one. But as I said earlier in the intro, I will get to pick out of the 2 that I get given. Now here's the layout as we have it at the moment. Chunks 2 and 4 both require me to chop, burn and fletch yew logs. So 60 wood cutting on a bronze axe. And that's not going to be very fun. 60 fletching, 65 making as well. It should be a bit more money for me at least through all the fletching, but with a bronze axe, as I say, it's going to take a long time. Regardless of which chunk I get, 1, 2, 3 or 4, they all have guards in them, which means I need to get level 40 thieving and pickpocket a guard. At the moment, I'm only around 21.5%, 22% of the way to level 40, so that's not going to be fun, but it will be a bit easier if I get chunk number 3. Chunk number 3 is probably the one that I want the most, followed by chunk number 1, then 2, then 4. So, without further ado, let's roll these and see what we get. Alright, spinning up. What are we going to see? Okay, 1 and 3. Those are definitely the ones I wanted. That's excellent. Let's go for number 4 then. I did say that was the one I want most. And as you can see here, I now have to get 40 thieving to pickpocket a guard. I need to do a little bit of family crest, and I need to kill 1 guard as well, which won't take very long. This does now offer me the Quetzal. I shouldn't have completed that quest, so I'm not going to give myself access to Valimor just yet as a possible chunk roll. I should need this now number 2 chunk before I get access to completing Children of the Sun and therefore Valimor access. So let's check out what we've got. Now I did have a clue scroll in my inventory, which is a Gertrude step. It's only a beginner clue, so that might have been a one-stepper, but I won't have access to Gertrude. I am going to keep this for now, though. And with a quick change on the world map, I can now get through to here, which is excellent. Now, pickpocketing a guard, as I say, I'm only level 25 thieving at the moment, so I still need 15 levels, and that's a lot more experience than what I have. But the tea stall here is going to be quicker experience than pickpocketing people, and is going to give me a source of food. 16 experience, that's double what you get for pickpocketing a man or woman, and the tea, of course, is going to give me an attack boost as well as hit points, so I'll be doing a lot of that. I can also get into this area of Varrock now, so there's not too much to do in here. I can start Family Crest here with Dominthius, which isn't going to go very far, but I can get started. So, as you can see, I can't do any more of the quest until I go to Catherby. There's also a step for the Alcarid Mine over here, and there's a step for the Jolly Boar Inn, which is up here a little bit. I'm not close enough to doing any of those anytime soon, so that'll be it for that. I can mark that off. I also now have access to this fancy clothes store, which offers me a blue wizard hat, one of the few things here that I didn't have access to already. There is a yellow cape, there's a needle and thread, that'll all come in handy. I'll probably buy all of those and the eye patch just for Fashionscape. Pretty much everything else I could already access. That's about it for this area of Varrock. I can't go any further south, so I still can't enter to the Chaos Altar here, so I still have no way of regaining prayer points. And I can't really enter the Dancing Donkey Inn, so I can't get to the bartender here. Not that there's anything there that'll be offered that's new. But yeah, let's go do some tasks. One last thing before we do our tasks. Obviously, I have a big area of the chunk that I can't access because I can't go through this gate. As you can see here, Museum Guard stops me. So I can't get to Tolna's Rift, so I can't do that quest either. And I can't get up to the lumber mill or anything like that either, so I'm kind of stuck to this outer area, not much out here. It's mostly just the guards. So let's do some purchasing, get that blue wizard's hat and everything, and then we'll do some thieving of the tea stall. Best in slot mage headgear acquired, and best in slot pirate gear also acquired. We'll get that needle, we'll get 10 thread, we might need it later, and can we buy the cape? Yeah. Yellow cape. I'm already in my melee gear, so I'll just kill that guard quickly. That will be another task. And who knows, we might get something good out of it. What do we get? Those next animations are still fucked, but nothing really. Alright, so the Family Crest quest done up to step 1, and kill a guard. One thing to go. And with one more cup of tea, level 30 thieving. And that's where we're going to end it for today. It'll be next episode that we get the remaining 64% of the thieving experience needed for level 40, only 10 levels away, and then we roll another chunk. These are our final levels as we end today, and we've spent just under 23 hours so far. Hopefully I'll remember to show the final playtime at the end of every episode, but that's where we are for now. I'll see you next time.